First, you'll want to open up Zoom on your computer. Go to this drop-down menu and click Preferences. Now you'll see this window. Click Video. You should see your webcam show up here. If you don't, find your camera in this panel. If it's not showing up here, then you may need to check the settings on your Windows or PC to make sure you've given Zoom access to your camera. Make sure HD is selected here. You can adjust for low light if you need to, but it's a much better idea to get good light on you instead of boosting the levels here. Make sure that Always Display Participant Name is deselected and Hide Self View is deselected. The rest of these don't matter. Now, audio. Wear headphones or keep your output volume all the way down and adjust the speaker volume on external speakers if you need to. What we don't want to hear is notifications dinging while you're trying to talk. If you're playing a video during your presentation, it'll be best to send a link to our editors to incorporate the file into the video later. For the microphone settings, if you don't have a microphone to plug in, it'll probably say Display Audio right here. And that's fine. We'll get to tips achieving the best audio near the end of this video. I want to make sure I choose the best audio source I have available. For me, it's this Scarlett USB preamp. I have dials on the preamp that allow me to adjust the input volume, but you'll want to slide this level until you get green bars at about the level that you're seeing here. To do that, we want to deselect Automatically Adjust Microphone Volume. Now you can drag accordingly. If you're having a hard time getting the levels high enough without this checked, you may either be too far from the microphone or you may have system settings that need to be adjusted. Relying on this to auto level may add unnecessary hiss to the recording if that's the case. And as far as suppressing the background noise, it's best to keep it low unless you really have to record in a noisy place. Most noises are forgivable, and this feature tends to add some garble to the presenter's voice, so best to keep it at low. The rest of these settings don't matter to us. For screen sharing, we're going to share in full screen mode. Uncheck the side-by-side mode. These should all be fine whatever they're set to. I have two monitors attached, so it's important for me to show all sharing options to make sure I'm presenting the right screen. Now we go to recording. In the record settings, we want to make sure we're not displaying the participant's name in the recording. So uncheck that. No timestamps. We want to optimize for third-party video editor. This may increase file size, so I recommend making sure you have at least 10 gigabytes of free storage to allocate to this. Keep in mind you should really have more than that free so that you don't start taxing your computer's RAM partway through the video. If you're not sure about this, contact us ahead of time, as we'd hate for you to lose a whole recorded presentation for lack of space. You'll be able to choose a location to save the recording once the meeting ends. It doesn't matter where you save this on your hard drive, just make sure you note the file path so that you can find the file later. It will take a while for Zoom to finish compressing the file once you've stopped your recording, but it will complete and it will be at the location that you've specified. And that should be it for settings. Now start a new meeting and join with computer audio. It's easiest to start recording before you start the screen sharing process. We'll do that down here. If you don't see the record button, it's because it's hidden because the interface is so small. You can go to More and then Record here. You should see the recording up here. Next, I'll open up Google Slides where my presentation is. To work in a Google Doc offline, you first need to be using Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge as your browser. A full list of the steps involved can be found in the link in the description below. You'll first need to install and turn on Google Docs offline Chrome extension. In Chrome, you should now see the icon here in your extensions. You can pin it so that it always shows up here. Now you need to navigate to the file you would like to alter within Google Drive. Usually a template file provided by the Soil Food Web School is your starting point. From the three-dot menu along the right side, choose Make Available Offline. You should see this icon with a check mark and a line under it beside the file name once it's available offline. Now let's turn off the Wi-Fi and/or disconnect from the Ethernet port. Restart your browser. Now, even with the internet off, you should be able to see what files you have available to you in Google Drive. I'll navigate to the template slide deck I set to be able to work offline. I double-click, et voila! I can work on the document and record my presentation with my screen sharing software once the slides are complete and approved. Now to record through Quicktime, go to the first slide and then open up Quicktime Player. The screen that pops up you can just close out of and go to New Screen Recording. I have two screens, so I need to choose the one that I want to record. But before I do that, I need to make sure that Record Entire Screen is selected. I also want to go to Options and make sure that my microphone is set to the proper input, just like we did with the Zoom settings. You can also choose where you're saving it. For me, it's easy to find if I save it to the desktop. Now I'm going to record by clicking on the screen. And now you'll see this icon right up here in the top that tells me that QuickTime is recording, and I'll click on that once I'm ready to stop. First, with my Google Slides up here, I'm going to click on the slideshow button. I'm going to wait for the press escape to go away, and I'll wait for my cursor to go away. It disappears after a few seconds if it's not in use. Then I'll just use my left and right arrow keys to navigate through the presentation. So I'll hit the right key and just go through this. This is Paul Morris. Here's some links for him. And let's say this is the end of my presentation, so I'll hit escape to get out of full screen mode. Now I can go ahead and stop the recording. And now we have a full screen recording in MOV format.